We got a driver who was, helping us with our distribution and all of that. And after some time, I think I came to work one morning and I was asking for him and he didn't show up. And I thought, okay, maybe he's just missing work. And we waited the first day, the second day, and he was with the car. He was with the office
What car?
It was our distribution car.
Okay.
So he didn't show up. And I think it took a staff to say to me, Madam, this guy may have run away with this cow. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. I mean, why would he do that?
Exactly.
I've been kind. I think I have been a good boss. But it turned out that he actually did run away with the car.
Hello everyone, my name is Omon and you're watching Omon Scout. Please keep watching.
Welcome to Omon Scout. Our guest on this couch today is a lawyer by training, yet a successful businesswoman who started her business in a stranger's kitchen. Today, her product stocks in 48 stores in Nigeria and counting. She's the CEO of Zayith Yogurt, a Greek yogurt brand in Nigeria. She's none other than the delectable Chidimma Uzoma. Chidimma, I'm so happy to have you here today.
Same here. Thank you for having me.
I've heard wonderful stories about your journey.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you.
Same here.
Chidimma, what inspired you to start the Greek yogurt business? Because I know you have a very interesting story around the British Nigerian family you met or you stayed with during your youth service in Jos.
Yeah. So first of all, what inspired me to start was more of I wanted to have good products on the shelves, and this was because the family I stayed with, the British Nigerian family, I mean, before I met them, that was maybe the first time I was having like really good yogurt. So I mean, most people don't believe, but before 2017, I never used to take yogurts. I didn't like them.
Oh, you didn't like
I didn't like them.
Wow.
They had this burning sensation on the on the throat, and it wasn't so good. And I mean, I didn't think so much about them till I met this family. And they made everything from scratch. They made their jams, they made their yogurts, they made everything from scratch. And as a food enthusiast, I was obsessed. So I started hounding the lady to teach me everything she knew, and she was kind enough to take me through the whole process of yogurt, butter, milk, fresh milk, everything. God bless her soul. She is late.
She's late. Oh.
Yeah. So that was where it all started from, and I started learning yogurt. And when I came back to Lagos in 2018, I started trying my hand. So I had this recipe in my head that just wouldn't leave. So I was working at the law firm at the time, but I couldn't take that out of my head. So I started trying at night, right? So that was really how it all started.
Did you always have the dream of starting a yogurt business, or did you have other plans after service?
Oh, okay. So that question is very personal to me, and I'll say why.
Okay.
So before 2017, of course, I'm a lawyer, and I really, really enjoy law. Yes, and I really enjoy law. So I mean, before then, I was obsessed with being a judge. So that's why immediately after youth service, I moved straight into practice. So I practiced with
a law firm.
Yeah, a law firm in Ikeja. And, I was very active with it. I was happy doing it. Mm-hmm. And my plan was, in the next 5 years, 10 years, become a judge. And so I never had any plans whatsoever of, starting a business. I wasn't even interested. I was just a food enthusiast who liked food and, would do stuff around it. But then I had this recipe that was stuck in my head.
And I
couldn't just get it out of my head. So while I would go to work in the morning, I'd come back in the evenings and I would, try my hands at it. So it took me a couple of months, but I was able to finalize that recipe. And it was just a thing of giving people to try. Oh, do you like this? Do you understand? And most of them did, and they liked it. And they would tell their friends, and, that's pretty much how we started. So word of mouth, people would say, oh, I want this. I heard you made it for this person, And so like that, it all started.
Very interesting. We actually share similar stories.
Yeah.
I mean, I also am a lawyer, and I wanted to be a judge. And strangely, it was the same pattern whereby I started in a law firm, wanted to be a judge, but after a while, I felt I wasn't feeling like being a judge, and I got the opportunity to do what I'm currently doing now.
Yeah.
So it's very possible that you have a path, and the next thing you want to change to something else, and that's what you actually become eventually.
Yeah.
So very interesting to know. So now you've started this business, and you've been doing it for about 5 years now.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yes, 5 years.
Wow, 48 stores and counting. How did you grow from your uncle's kitchen to 48 stores?
Wow. So, to be honest, the growth still amazes me because, like I said, it wasn't something I had planned. So it's not like I had a perfect business proposal or business plan, you know, to tell you, oh, we're going to grow to 50 stores in 2 years.
2 years and 5.
So I think first it was having a solid product. And I think that was what sold us for the first few years. So our product was solid, and it sold itself by word of mouth for the first couple of years before we now saw that, oh, this thing is actually serious. And we started putting in.
When you say solid, what do you mean by solid, actually?
For some reason, people really liked it. So we started out with the Greek yogurt.
So it's more of like the quality of the product. Yes,
the quality of the product. People really liked it. And I say this to people most times is, I didn't actually do a market research, you know, before putting it out. So what that means is that I didn't go around checking other brands of Greek yogurt to know, how they and what our product was going to be. It was just that thing that was stuck in my head, and I reproduced it as it was. And by the time we put it out in the market, it was fantastic, right? So it was when we started getting a lot of feedback from people like, oh, this is the best Greek yogurt I've had. This is so good, that I now started checking out other Greek yogurt brands and seeing that, oh, okay, we're not doing so bad, you know? So so that was kind of how the whole thing blew into something that was really big. I had our first staff in 2018. And so I had to move from, so after I brought out the product, I had to move from just owning the product to now building a business. So that was hiring staff, getting our first factory space. We got our first factory space in 2020. Yeah, so we got our first factory shortly before COVID. And, you know, we started building out the whole thing brick by brick.
So how did you cope during COVID after you just invested so much money in that space?
That story.
And COVID happened. How did you survive?
So, I mean, it's one of the most challenging things that I've had to do in a while. So we had our first factory by January 2020, and COVID hit by March. Yes. So it was barely 2 months in, and I know when it happened. At first, I couldn't believe it. So you know how you go through the first 5 stages of grief. It was I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, no, this is not happening. You know, but it happened, and we had to shut down operations. And just so, because we didn't know how long it was going to last, I had to house our staff. So our core staff, I had to house them in for that period. And it was only later, maybe like 2 or 3 months after, when we were able to get the permit to be able to function as core. There was something that was...
there was this thing that... essential.
Yeah, essential. Yes, exactly. So it was only a few months after we were able to function as an essential service, because people were locked in at home and they really just wanted to at least start eating healthy. They didn't know what was coming on, and people wanted to get their products. So that's kind of how we were able to maneuver through COVID period. It wasn't easy. I'm not going to stay here and say it was easy, but it was really challenging. But it was something that taught us a lot of business lessons. Yes.
So after COVID till now?
So after COVID till now, once COVID was done, we moved straight to, you know, pushing out the product as fast as we could. So we got the ShopRite partnership. And we got the ShopRite partnership through an organization called AWP. Okay. And once we got the ShopRite partnership, it was easier to get into other stores. So what the ShopRite partnership did was give us access to all their stores across the country. And so we started with Lagos stores, and then from there we were able to get Ebano stores, we were able to get MedPlus stores, and, you know, so it was just on like that. So we had to grow really quickly, but we had to grow as efficient as possible. Yes.
Yeah, because when you're dealing with food products, something that's edible, you have to be careful with quality.
Exactly.
Interesting. You've actually done extremely well. Within this very short time of 5 years, you've done so well. I must say, well done.
Thank you.
But I know that this is all about the glamour part of the entire business. So tell us the difficult moments you faced in your business.
So there has been tons of difficult moments, but I'll share a few. So when we started out, I think this was 2020, after we got the first factory space. There was a point where we had, of course, we didn't have funds anymore because we had used that to set up the factory space, and business had just started before COVID happened. So I remember just thinking, you know what, this is it. There's nothing more I can do at this point. And we had taken our first bank loan to aid that. So the bank loan was counting. We couldn't operate, and COVID was indefinite. We didn't know when COVID was going to end. And I remember clearly I was with my husband, and I was so disturbed, and I asked him, what do I do?
What next?
What next? Like, so this is it. After all this stress, this is just, the end of everything. And he said, why? Like, why do you think this is the end of it? How much do you have? I had maybe less than 100K in my account. And he was like, okay, so how much is a bag of milk? And I'm like, but that can just buy what we do. He said, buy the first bag. And, let's find a way for you to get started again. So that's when we started pursuing for the essential services certificate. And so I remember we had to go to our supplier's place with, try and get a way to get there. And we bought the first bag of milk, and we started. And I wasn't even sure.
That small.
Yes. So this was like starting from the beginning after, we had gotten some kind of traction. So we did that, and we sold that off in in 24 hours. Okay. And I was like, okay, this is quite encouraging. It was a good way to build some kind of momentum, and we started having people, and I think that was very particular because God used that as an instance to encourage me. So we had people, so we had people who specifically reached out to say, COVID is happening. I know things are difficult, but we really like your yogurt. Would want to get some and all of that.
But I'm sure COVID period, a lot of people were eating.
Yes. But I mean, COVID was new to all of us.
On food.
Yes, but we didn't know. And because, what was in my head then was, this is not rice, this is not beans, this is not essential food. So people might not want, because you don't even know how much the cash you have is going to last. So you probably want to get essential food, right? But to our surprise, people actually, wanted to get this stuff. And we sold the first one in 24 hours. And before you knew it, we're able to keep. So, COVID started out rough, but it eventually panned out for us and became one of our, really good months. Yeah. So that's one of the most difficult parts. And then we had something with a staff. So when I started, because I started really young, I didn't have like a defined leadership style per se.
And you didn't have any mentor too?
Well, no, I didn't. It wasn't something that was planned. I'll say, okay, I want to start a business, so I'm going to look for a mentor, and all of that. So it was just me trying to be my authentic self, right? Beautiful. So in dealing with staff, I'm very open, I'm very collaborative, and it's in that
being very trusting.
Very trusting. That's actually the word. So very, very trusting. And we got a driver who was helping us with our distribution and all of that. And after some time, I think I came to work one morning and I was asking for him, and he didn't show up. And I thought, okay, maybe he's just missing work. And we waited the first day, the second day, and he was with the car. He was with the office car. It was our distribution car. Okay. So he didn't show up. And I think it took a staff to say to me, Madam, this guy may have run away with this cow. And I'm like, no, that's not possible. Why would he do that? Exactly. I've been kind. I think I have been a good boss. But it turned out that he actually did run away with the car. And it was...
It was off a new business. You're still trying to get your
You're still trying to find out.
Somebody's still the
and someone stole our vehicle.
Wow.
And it took a while for us to get over that because, of course, we went to the Nigerian police and they asked us for, a number of things.
You never recovered the car?
No, we never did.
Till today?
Till today. Never
Wow.
saw the car, never saw the guy. So we're able to get a new car in a few months. So in a way, I think maybe God just took that out so that we could get something better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, there's a lot, but off the top of my head, I can remember these two that really took a toll on us.
Running a business in Nigeria can be very daunting.
Yeah.
And have you had any moment whereby you looked and said, I can't continue with this business anymore, even if I'm actually making money? Because the stress is too much, things are not just working out, maybe government policies or anything.
I think maybe I have that at least 2 times a week.
That's very authentic of you.
No,
to say.
really.
You have that thought.
I have that thought
and you're doing so well.
Oh my God, because there is a lot, and because we're manufacturing, it is. We're not just in manufacturing, we're in manufacturing of yogurts, which is power intensive.
Wow.
So we have to constantly deal. So when first we had that period where, we had the fuel scarcity and all of that.
Yes. Then diesel
hike and everything. Wow. Those periods, once it comes, it's just like I have this trauma response to it. Like, oh my God, not again, please. So there's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, if we can get to a point where power is not an issue, where we don't have to deal with officials that are trying to extort you, because we have a lot of that.
Yes.
So, I mean, I struggle with calling them government officials because sometimes they come off as touts. No offense. But most times we have, and once they notice that we're a company, it's almost like they just go guns blazing, like, where's the money?
Yeah, because if they threaten you to an extent and sue your facility, you can produce.
Exactly. So they just use that and, they try to get as much money as possible. I mean, it's really difficult. I mean, I'd like to think that Lagos is a nice place to do business and, the ease of business and everything, but I'm hoping it trickles down quickly.
I don't know about that. I've been in business for 17 years and it has not been easy for one day.
No.
At all.
No.
I think we, the entrepreneurs, just find a way to...
We find a way.
Just to make and move and continue to struggle and find a way to just get it out of the...
I mean, the grit that it takes to run a business in Nigeria is something I think should be studied.
Yes. I've had a lot of... I've had a couple of ladies who have started this couch saying that if you can actually do business, you can do business anywhere.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
It takes a lot. But people don't really understand it. But I'm believing that entrepreneurs who are out there, especially those who are just starting and maybe have spent 1 or 2 years actually understanding what we're talking about. Or when you are just planning to come into or start a business, it's a different ballgame entirely. It's really difficult. It's tough if you don't have passion, you don't have the grit, you don't have the tenacity, you don't have the zeal or anything. You cannot work in Nigeria. You can't run a business in Nigeria. You can't do anything.
I agree.
You need that to stay in power. So well done.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're married. You have 2 young children.
Yes.
So how have you been able to balance it all?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is having an amazing support system.
Okay.
So and I always try to not discredit my privilege when it comes to that. So I have an amazing support system. I have helps, and then I have my spouse who is a great guy.
That's fantastic.
So on days when I cannot be a mom per se, he steps in and he's a very sufficient parent for our kids. Yeah. I think that's really have been able to. I don't think I would have been able to if I didn't have a support system. My mom and my dad, they're very present.
Yes, very present in your life.
So anytime I need family to be around the kids, my mom is always happy to help. And my husband helps we have at home. Also, I have my in-laws who have been amazing. My mother-in-law is an angel, and she's very supportive, and she stays like 5 minutes away from the house, so it's just drop the kids off and pick them up.
So you really have a lot of people really supporting you as family. Yes. That's very good.
Thank you.
Well done. What's your mantra for building a sustainable business?
So, first off, I would always say have a great product. Have a great product.
Yeah.
And have a great team. Have a great team. So I find that in building a sustainable business, it can never be just you, right? I see people building, and I see that most times they wrap the whole thing around themselves. But you need people to build something sustainable. So have a great product, have a great team.
So do you get to empower your team?
Yes. Oh, yes. I think by team, I think they even take more trainings than I do.
Okay.
And that's part of, I always feel like as a leader, it's important that there are other leaders around you. So you're not the only star shining. You have lots of shining stars around you. And lastly, I would say chase the money.
Chase the money.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Very important.
The last one is chase the money.
Yes.
Because some people chase the passion. But chase the money, chase the passion, and chase the money. That makes sense.
Thank you for watching this episode of Omo's Couch. If you would like to see more inspiring content like this, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. The handle is Omon. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel at Omon.